Did you make a move? I bet you did. I bet you did. You think you're slick, think you're cool, but you're a fool. You better listen to me. Listen to me. I have a feeling you don't wanna know what she'll do to you. Oh, she's always right. You think you got away with it. You think you got away with it. You think you got away with it. You think you got away with it.
Hey everybody, today is November 12th, 2025. Just 3 years ago, there was an excavation of the backyard of the Wondras house on Red Wing Street because the tip came in that Michael Vaughan's remains could be found there. And so we're going to talk about what is in the probable cause affidavit. And something that I found very interesting about the scent tracking, which is kind of what I'm used to seeing for my own perspective, working in search and rescue, being a volunteer. I think that might have a huge clue potentially on why all of this kind of, I don't know, perpetuated into what it is. Or it could be that maybe this scent tracking situation is, I don't know, probable. A lot of people think that it is. But I, of course, always like to look at it from all angles. And that's what we're going to do today, amongst other things. So if you could hear me, put a 1 in the chat. I should have done that before I ranted. Hello, everybody. Good to see you all. Hi, Carla. Good to see you, love. Innocent until proven guilty. Welcome in, love. Matthew, vote Eve for mayor. No, do not do that. I'm not running for mayor. My God. Have you seen what they do to mayors these days? Speaking of, the county that Michael Vaughan is from, I think that mayor is out. Finito. A lot of people didn't like what he was doing or saying, and he's out. So there's that. Hi, Miss Rubug. Welcome in. You finally got your wrench. I finally got it fixed. Hey, Chris. Welcome in. Shani, good to see you. And if you're watching the replay, welcome in. Glad you're here. Go ahead and hit that like button while you're here watching. Doesn't cost you anything, and even the lurkers in the back. It's not going to out you. Might as well do it while you're here. All right. Good that you can hear me. All right, perfect. So I'm sure everyone's wondering, what is this big news or big huge find that I found? And I'll tell you, it's I'm looking at it from the perspective of just the perspective of a juror who's like, this doesn't make any sense. Which, if you're wanting him convicted or all four convicted and you truly believe he's guilty, don't hang your hat. Don't hang your hat on public trial, because that's not going to work, especially if potentially this trial gets moved out to another county where people aren't really too keen on things because of the massive amount of circumstantial evidence and inferences in the probable cause, in my opinion. Okay. So I made a video last night because I wanted it to be fresh on my mind about what I found. And you're going to watch kind of the bare minimum information that you're going to need for me to go into further today on this live. So let me pull that up really quickly and let's watch. I think that you're going to appreciate at least my take on the scent tracking. And you know what? Before I do that video, let's go ahead and recap the probable cause from Stacey and Sarah Wondra, but we're using Stacey's. It's the exact same thing. And I assume that if the others are charged, it's going to look the exact same. So, never know. Okay, here we go. Pull that bad boy over here. And I am having the worst allergy attack of the century. So forgive me. I take I don't know what you guys do for allergies or if you have them, but I have severe allergies in certain times of the season here in Texas, and oh my God, kill me. It's pretty bad today. So excuse me if I'm not perky as usual. So let's recap. I'm going to try to zoom in here. There we go. For us blind baddies out here, shout out. All right. This section of the probable cause says live scent canine teams searched the surrounding neighborhoods on August 2nd and 3rd, which was the 6th day and 7th day of Michael going missing. Okay. And what they did was use a pair of Michael's shoes. I'm assuming shoes that he had worn recently. I'm not sure if that's Batman shoes. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and look to what Michael's mother said. I thought it was only one shoe, but allegedly it's two shoes. Out of approximately 300 homes, canine handlers reported the dogs only showed interest in one house located at Red Wing, where Stacey and Sarah live. A canine handler also reported that canine Banshee, which you're about to meet here in a moment. She has retired now from the Merced Police Department in California, I believe, or Sheriff's Office, rather. Anyway, canine Banshee showed interest in the area of the corner of Meadowlark and Red Wing Street. For those who are just tuning in, I know most of you know about this case already, but I have to do it for anyone who is unaware of this case. I always like to just do the courtesy to show you where that is while I'm speaking about it. So here is the neighborhood of Michael Vaughan. This is where his home is. This is Meadowlark and Red Wing. Here's the suspect's home here. Hope you can see that. This is where the dogs, let me get the red. This is where the dogs showed interest first. And then you'll see that it immediately went to the front door of this house on Red Wing, on the edge of Red Wing. Okay. All right. So the canine showed interest at the intersection and then headed straight to the fence and front door of the Wondras' residence. On August 2nd, 2021, canine Banshee tracked scent down to a tree over the edge of the bluff off of Southwest 8th and 3 Rivers Way. Let's go back to maps. So again, here's Michael's home down here. I guess yellow would be the next best thing. So I'm doing this just to show you from Michael's home to where they're saying that the scent tracked on August 2nd is the bluffs over on this section, we'll say. Because I'm not sure exactly where they found this tricycle stroller combo, but we'll just say in this area. I'm pretty sure it's down this way, though, that they found this, the stroller and the tricycle. Okay. So again, August 2nd, they tracked scent. Miss Banshee tracked the scent down to a tree over the edge of the bluff in 3 Rivers. Canine Banshee was determined to track the scent into the thorny bushes under the tree despite the thorns. A discarded child's stroller was located deep in those thorny bushes. So it was strategically placed and stuffed in those thorny bushes, from what I'm understanding. Or that's what the detective who wrote this probable cause, Miss Keller, said, or is meaning, because she says, even though the dog was probably getting poked and prodded by these thorny bushes, there was a discarded child's stroller located deep in those thorny bushes. Stroller. So we have a stroller and we have a tricycle. And I did show a picture of this too. The picture that I showed everyone on my last live about this tricycle that I got from Chris Madonna. Chris Madonna's live. And it was confirmed to me that this was, in fact, what she saw. She said it was low to the ground. A witness that saw this, which is Sarah's mother. And it was, the wheels were out from the seat, and it was really low and pink. And it was confirmed that that was the one. Now, is that true or not? I don't know. I'm just telling you that is what was told to me. And they were adamant that it was before Michael went missing, not after, not during, before it, which raises alarms. That is not in this probable cause in depth, but I'm telling you that's what was told to me. So you really have to take it with a grain of salt, but it is good to know that there is an alternative, because probable cause affidavits are not meant to be actually factual. It's kind of meant to just do the bare minimum. It's a low standard to get charges. That's the whole point of it. That a reasonable person would say, oh, they're involved. That's the whole point of a probable cause. Okay. So, this is a big deal. Well, why is that a big deal? Well, because there's no mention in this probable cause affidavit that there was any scent tracking that alluded to anything, anywhere, at any time for the first 6 days, or 5 days if you want to be technical. We have July 27th to 28th to the 29th to the 30th to the 31st. That's 4 days. And then August 5th, on the 5th day, they finally get something. Now, could there have been scent tracked or noted? Maybe, but it's not in this probable cause, so we can't say definitively, right? We're only going based on the detective's words in this probable cause. I'm going to check in chat real quick. Make sure that I am catching your questions. Yeah, Chris, I agree. Based on many things, but the leak of the footage of the alleged confession or post-confession, yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. And here's the thing. The suspects haven't even read their own probable cause affidavit that they're charged for. This isn't, a probable cause that I need to get permission from any single person. But if I would, it would be the person charged, not anyone else, right? I just wanted to make that clear that that's the reality of it. This is Sarah and Stacey's charges. All right? No one else's. All right, moving on. Before we get to the video that I want to play, I think it's very important to know this other thing. Video surveillance was gathered from security cameras in the neighborhood that Michael disappeared from, as well as the neighboring areas. Michael is never seen on any of the surveillance footage that was obtained. Never seen. Guys, think about that and just sit with that for a second. Yeah, me too, Chris. I'm sick from the weather too. Yeah, exactly. Ms. Brewbug says, would this mean his scent wasn't picked up at his own house then? Like, that's questionable. Well, maybe that's a given because he lives there and she didn't put that in. But you would want, in my opinion, I guess not, because the probable cause, like I said, is a low standard. You don't have to have much. But do realize that most probable causes are dismissed on average. Like, that's, I think, maybe part of the problem in this case. It just wasn't strong enough at some points. And so you have to keep coming back if a grand jury won't indict or return a true bill. You got to get more and more and more. And I think that that's what they were doing, allegedly. It seems that way. So, especially with some of the reaching in here, in my opinion. Connie says, I'm new to your channel. I'm Connie's sister, Karen. She passed away 1.5 years ago, and I took on her true crime account. Well, welcome in, Connie. Shani says, I can't remember. Did they use dogs the first night? If not, they should have. They did. We're going to go into that. We're going to go into some of the posts that Fruitland did at the time, Payette County and others, and, citizens, especially one specific one, Miss Lopez, who would update every time something went down with the searching and if the police needed something. She was on it. So we're going to go over that too. Because they did have tracking dogs, absolutely had dogs come in, especially in the wee hours of the morning of the 28th. So there was a lot of searchers. And I don't know if those scent dogs were tracking dogs. Which would have been really nice to know, but we'll go over that. But again, let's sit on that. Video surveillance was gathered from the security cameras in the neighborhood Michael disappeared from, as well as the neighboring areas in the neighborhood. So that tells me Does that mean in the neighborhood of Southwest 8th on that side, or was it Southwest 9th? Well, let's see. Let's see what it says. Go back up. I'm sorry. They basically saying that they don't believe the family knows or has involvement. I think there was a part where they said he wasn't caught on camera on his street. Let me go back up. I'm so sorry, guys. Again, let's remind everybody that neighbors say that they saw Michael on his street at 6:15 to 6:30 approximately. And then Tyler calls 911 at 7:21. And right here, I'm sorry, there it is, 6:15 to 6:30. Neighbors reported seeing 5-year-old Michael between, again, that time in the area of Michael's home and nearby residences. Michael knocked on some of his neighbors' doors, attempting to play with neighbors or in their yards. Michael was told to return home by all of the neighbors he contacted, which we don't know how many that would be. Now, the mother has outwardly said to the public on various platforms that it was 3, then 5, then 6, and as the investigation progressed, I'm sure that's why the story progressed or changed. So we don't really know exactly which neighbor, but I do have information of potentially which ones. Basically the one on the other side of them on the corner, and then the other one to the right of them could be a potential. More than likely. Okay. Through interviews, searches, and other corroborating evidence, family and household members have been determined not to have knowledge or be involved of Michael's disappearance. All of the neighbors on Southwest 9th Street in Arizona have also been thoroughly investigated, searched, and interviewed, and determined not to have knowledge. So we're jumping into all this tracking. So we have a big chunk of time from, when he went missing until the 1st, or 2nd, rather, that a canine tracks scent. Then we have to remember this. Again, video surveillance was gathered from security cameras in the neighborhood and as well as neighboring areas, and he was never seen on any of them. We have to remember that they have the suspects, coming into the neighborhood with pings and coming out of the neighborhood and all of this stuff, and they have them parked on Southwest 8th in Arizona at 7:08, allegedly. They have them on camera, but not Michael. So obviously, he must have gotten to the other neighborhood that we're about to talk about, where the suspects lived. Not by foot, and not by walking, running, sprinting. How did he get there? How did Michael Vaughan avoid cameras by sneaking away from Dad and sneaking out of the house? How did he get across the street into that subdivision? How did he do it? Was he concealed? Did they ever see anybody walking from his neighborhood on Southwest or on his street, walking to the other subdivision? Because if he was not on camera on Southwest 8th, but they caught the suspects and walking 3 rivers down to the splash pad, and we'll get to that in depth. How did Michael Vaughan get to that subdivision where the alleged scent was picked up on Meadowlark and Red Wing? How? How does that happen? How? I don't know. I'm not, a scent tracking canine SAR professional, but I've seen what they can do. I've witnessed what they can do. I've witnessed what handlers do. I know just about enough to know how they alert to their handlers, and it changes based on the training and stuff. But I know just enough that something doesn't sit right with me to not have any scent from the 27th to the 2nd on, tracking wise. That ties Stacey and Sarah's home. I just cannot understand it. But I'm not a professional. Hello, Karen. My condolences. Likewise, I meant to say that, Karen. Thank you. Connie, excuse me. Hi, Cryptics. Thank you. Yeah, we're about to play that one more time so I can break it down. Because a lot of people were already commenting that doesn't make any sense. But it was kind of a bare bones video so that I could get into it on this live in more depth. Hey, Phil, my Polly. Welcome in. Roswell, listening to hear your opinions. I like to hear all sides, thoughts, and opinions. I appreciate that. Not everybody does, I'll tell you that. Not everybody wants to hear a peep out of me. Well, too bad. What is that meme? That's too damn bad. This is America. Whatever happened to the scooter? Shani, you would ask that. You would ask that. I don't know. I did find what looks like a scooter thrown into the, the drainage into that pond. Actually, somebody else in our little group found that. But I have found it as well, and it's been reported to Fruitland Police Department. We'll see if that comes up with anything. Anyway, I think I saw that yesterday. Somebody shared it. I don't trust Dorothy. Yeah, we'll get into that as well. Did the two families even know each other beforehand? Police say no. The police say no. But does it really take a connection? All it takes, really, I don't know, is somebody that knows somebody. It's a small town. Fruitland is not big. I hear where they have Stacey leaving that day, but didn't they say when he returned alone that day? Yeah. I think so. We'll go into it. I know that they see him on camera leaving the neighborhood, and he goes into the splash pad because he dropped his chew in the seat. And so, he's a hefty guy. He was 545 pounds plus at that time. And he allegedly walked around to open his door, and it was locked, and then I guess, gave up. I don't know. We'll get into that. It jumped to later when all three left to tow, unless I heard wrong. Well, they did at 7:08. Yeah, so let's get back to it. I don't understand, again, how no footage of Michael that was obtained. Now, I don't know if they didn't get footage that could have shown him there. I don't know. I doubt it. I really highly doubt it. But it's very hard for me to understand Southwest 9th. If there is footage, if there is a camera at 9:08, 9:06, or whatever footage that may have captured him that didn't, if they ever got it, I don't know. So now we have Dorothy Starkey, who 2 days later, after Michael disappears, said that she saw Michael riding a big wheel tricycle at the corner of Red Wing Street and Meadowlark. Okay? She's the only one. She doesn't know if she was coming out of the neighborhood at 6:25 when she saw him or coming back into the neighborhood at 7:25. But one of those times she says, "Oh, I saw Michael on this tricycle." Only one. The only one. Ironically, at the exact location of the tracking dog. That's interesting. Think about it. On the 29th, on 7/29, 2 days later, she comes out with, I saw him either coming or going. They do a scent track, and I'll show you the video of exactly where they started this scent tracking with a very, very good dog that has done a lot of work over the years. Okay. Very well trained. I would say super expert dog. Like, she seems to be on top of it. One of the best. And she can be seen going into the Hidden Meadow subdivision for that tracking. And that's important because they're looking to see where that they take Michael's shoe and give the scent dog that scent from the shoe, because there's a lot of bacteria, there's a lot of specific smell, sweat, all that stuff in that shoe. I don't know if the shoe was washed or not. I don't know how new the shoe is. It doesn't matter. It was obtained by police, and that's what they used. So they show interest at Meadowlark and Red Wing after Dorothy is saying this is where she last saw him. No one else did. He's not on camera. What does that tell you when you first think of all of those factors just right there? Dorothy might. Either Dorothy is lying or she is misremembering. Why isn't he on camera over there? Why isn't he on camera on the other side of the street? I can't tell you. This is all alleged. What I'm trying to say is eyewitness testimony is one of the most faultiest pieces of evidence out there, but it's the most damning sometimes, because you can't prove otherwise if you have nothing to back. If you don't have a good defense attorney to impeach a witness on their eyewitness testimony, it's all based on the jury's feeling of what they think. And that's scary, right? Oof. It's very scary to me. Hi, Toe Beans. Welcome in. Why does everybody have memory problems in this case? Well, right. Have day mixed up. I don't know what that means. So, okay. Now we're going to jump into what I found about this dog. Made a little video, and then we'll go into some more nitty-gritty stuff. One sec. Sorry, guys. Slow, slow, slow. Here we go. I feel like my internet's just dragging today, like myself.
Live sent K9 teams searched the surrounding neighborhoods August 2nd to 3rd, 2021, using a pair of Michael's shoes for Michael's scent. Out of approximately 300 homes, K9 handlers reported the dogs only showed interest in one house located at Red Wing in Fruitland. This is the home of Stacey and Sarah Wondra. A K9 handler also reported that K9 Banshee showed interest in the area of the corner of Meadow Lark and Red Wing Street.
Do you see this dog that's coming in right here? Watch where she's going.
Red Wing Street. The K9 showed interest at the intersection and then headed straight to the fence and front door of the Wondra's residence.
Think you're cool, but you're a fool.
There's a sign right here. See that? That sign is over on, I believe, Three Rivers Way. And I looked it up in an article, and they were doing searches definitely on the 14th of August, but also on the 2nd and 3rd.
You better listen to me. Listen to me.
A bloodhound's nose is simply amazing.
Track. Where'd he go? Come on.
A few sniffs of a child's toy or any personal object and the
Any personal object like a toy or a shoe, which shoes have actually, the latest studies have shown that it could be problematic because if you put your shoes on top of your mama's shoes or your brother's shoes or your sister's shoes or y'all's shoes go into a bin like mine does sometimes with the kids. Oh no. Scent's going to be a little mixed. It's going to get contaminated within each other because bacteria loves everybody's shoes, not just, that one. So there is cross-contamination issues with shoes, but it does also give specific scent, which is good too.
bloodhound hones in on a scent trail.
There's a lot of wind, there's a lot of distractions, there's a lot of traffic. So with the hard surface, she's going to track more to the grass because the scent needs something to stick to.
We caught up with the National Police Bloodhound Association at its annual recertification training in Garrett County, Maryland. We walked a few blocks away along city streets to set up a test of our own.
This time, I am the bloodhound's target.
Find him!
A bloodhound picks up on my scent from an ID badge. And it's off, picking up my scent, and within minutes...
So within minutes of that scent tracking, live scent tracking, not cadaver, live, which is what it says in here, right? Let me read verbatim. Live scent canine teams that used a shoe to compare, which, of course, Michael lived with many family members in a not huge home, but a home that was pretty compacted for that many people, right? We know that the mother searched all over immediately when she got home. Her scent and the father's scent would be all over the neighborhood, all over it. Especially knowing that Tyler Vaughan admits to going behind the drainage ditch area through the splash pad at some point to look for Michael and coming out into the neighborhood, Cornwall Way. He admits to calling 911 there at one point, and I don't know. He was very iffy. He couldn't remember. It's a blur, and this was back in the early days, so 2020, early 2022. So you have all of this scent from the original search. You have all these people coming in. I don't know how many times the parents searched, the first few days. But already you have scent, potential scent contamination right there. Okay. So let's continue.
Good girl. You found me.
It's been very successful so far.
Retired California Sheriff's Captain Kobe Webb runs this training exercise. Webb has over 20 years' experience handling bloodhounds. She points out getting the right scent for a bloodhound can be challenging.
People will say, well, just use the pillowcase. Well, the pillowcase, I have young children, and I kiss them goodnight. I put the pillowcase on the pillow after I wash the sheets. My scent is everywhere. So when I go looking for my missing child, I'm laying a trail.
Did you hear that? Let's play it one more time. That's crucial. She's talking about the pillowcase, which ironically, that is a thing in this case, but not for this. She's making an example that she's the mom. She's got kids. Okay. If she puts, that pillowcase in the laundry and she's putting that on the pillowcase, shaking it and doing all her thing. Maybe she hugs it for a second and smells it. Like, I just love that smell. Especially if she uses Gain like me. I love Gain. I love the smell of Gain and fabric softener. And then she puts it down on the bed. The next day, the child goes missing. Her scent is mixed in with that scent. So if they use that for scent tracking, she is literally laying a trail along with scent that may have been that the dog sniffed on and she's going out to search, the scent is actually her. A little bit of her. I hope that makes sense.
And what happens?
Challenging.
People will say, well, just use the pillowcase. Well, the pillowcase, I have young children and I kiss them goodnight. I put the pillowcase on the pillow after I wash the sheets. My scent is everywhere. So when I go looking for my missing child, I'm laying a trail. And what happens is it confuses the dog.
Neil said that she had never seen or met the Wondras, but when the search was underway for Michael, she left flyers at their door. Sarah Wondra was later seen on TikTok videos in October of 2021 in front of the Michael's missing person flyer, which was hanging on the refrigerator door behind her. And this flyer was created on July 29th.
I also want to confirm that, the police was telling people to pick these up on the 30th of July. So technically, these were being passed out on the 30th when they were printed. They were made on the 29th, and from my understanding, they said, come and pick them up on the 30th. They had a Facebook post. And if I have that, I think I do actually. Let me pull it up. Just to be transparent here. So there's the original. There's Sarah with the poster. You can see it a little better right there. And everybody said, oh God. And if Cryptics is in here, I know that you know that we know about Richard Allen Delphi. He had the same, thing blasted out all over that guilty because he had the sketch of Bridge Guy, or one of the potentials, on his behind him on the wall. Oh God, guilty, just boom. And that was right. He got arrested literally 2 weeks before this came out. So that's, thanks Gray Hughes, you dick. Anyway, that's where I think that outrage came from. Of course, because we love a trial by public, crucifixion. Anywho, let's continue.
Never seen them. Never met them. We left flyers in the door.
We left flyers in the door. That could be we as in family members. Who else was there with you? That's a very crucial point that I would like to know, or anyone who actually takes this seriously. Who else? We as in family members? That even adds to the scent mix. If you're coming up and going and handing out flyers, which is what you should do. I'm not saying that wasn't right. But does that mean that because you left flyers in that door and you had more or other family members doing that with you, could that create a potential false scent trail, or a mixture of the two? Maybe it didn't. But that's what the defense would definitely use in a trial, because of how common this is. Statistically, it's common. It's very common. Matter of fact, they're changing, from my understanding, there's a certification that you can get for training dogs that are like national. Everyone's recognized these things. And they're changing some of their training policies for future canine handlers. We really need to change how we do trailing. All right. That's how good these dogs, especially bloodhounds like Banshee, they're so good that they're going to pick up the scent that's the strongest at that point and run with it. And they won't stop until literally they die if you don't pull them away. That's how serious these bloodhounds are.
How probable would this mixture of scent particles come from Mom?
So, what do you guys think? If you're watching the replay, put your comments below on what you think about that. What do you think about no video footage, yet having Michael transported literally into thin air to the other side of the neighborhood? Did he leave in a vehicle, perhaps? Which is what the consensus is. And if he got to the other side of the street via vehicle into the neighborhood of Hidden Meadows across the street, it would have to be someone coming into the neighborhood first. They say he went missing from 6:15 to 6:30. Neighbors see him. Dorothy, who lives literally right next door to the suspects, literally, and I'm about to break a bombshell for you on that I just found out about. Well, I kind of knew it, but I didn't have confirmation until yesterday. But neighbors see him then 6:15 to 6:30. From 6:30 to 6:45, no one knows he's missing yet, allegedly. We don't know where Dad has searched yet. We've been told one thing, but we do know that he went behind the drainage ditch at one point to look. And it was allegedly after 7. We don't know yet. So, from 6:30 to 6:45, how did he get to Hidden Meadows? I guess I should pull up the map for those who are not familiar. I'm sorry, I forgot. Give me just a quick second. We'll pull up the basic map here really quickly. So, how did he get from his street between 6:30 or maybe ish, let's just say, 6:25, 6:30 ish, to here that quickly on a bicycle or on a tricycle, not being seen on camera yet at all? On any video, no one saw him. But the neighbor of the suspects, think about that. Really sit on that for a second and quit thinking, well, because someone confessed, that's a wrap. We all know that false confessions exist. We all know it. And it's a possibility here. I think it's an absolute possibility. So sit on it for a second. It's not rocket science here, guys. None of this probable cause is making a lick of sense. It doesn't. I'm sorry. And for those who are saying that this probable cause is horrible, it's horrible. Well, if you believe in it, sure. If you believe in a known liar who will say anything he can to get what he wants, how can you trust that? You only trust it because it fits the narrative. I can't help you on that. But this doesn't make any sense. So yeah, of course it would be horrible if you believed in it. But it doesn't make any sense. And a jury would have a problem with it, in my opinion. I would have a problem with it. But I'm biased, I guess. Because I know too much. So, there would be all kinds of sightings, yeah. The dog would have or should have tracked him to the neighbors as well. Correct. Why don't we have that? Because I think that would be, that was going to be probably something that would be damning to the probable cause. So there's things that are going to be missing out of this probable cause. They only want things that make sense. They only want things that would make this stick hard. And those would not. And what a waste of a trial if you can't really just nail these people with factual evidence, not all circumstantial. But we don't know if this is it. There might be more. I don't mean to jump the gun. I'm just saying this doesn't look good to me if this is the probable cause, if this really truly is the one signed off on. It doesn't make sense. So he made it from there to there. And he would have to go through here. So let me back that up. He would have to go from here, or maybe even here, which they say that they see him on, the neighbors see him around here. Last seeing him around here. So I would say Arizona. How did he get to there at 6:25 or 6:30 without being seen on camera? If somebody can tell me in the chat without being outrageous, like Houdini stuff, I don't know. The babysitter said they had a camera at the house. Well, they're allegedly cleared. I've proven that Detective Crimin said we have not looked at her, so nobody get sassy on her. I'm very protective of her because she loved Michael dearly, and took care of him. There was a baby monitor that wasn't a camera. I think you could only hear on it. And that rumor was started by the parents, who freaked out and thought that they were being listened to by the babysitter, which is absolutely ridiculous. I'll just say it. There is nothing to the camera in the house. That was a fib that they got paranoid on, and it got taken out of context. That was the Twitter days. So that's a wrap. It was just a baby monitor. Okay. Why wasn't this picked up if Dorothy, who lives here... Oh, let me give you that bombshell real quick. It's not in the probable cause affidavit. You're not going to hear this or see this in there, but you're going to hear it from me, and this is what was told to me. Dorothy was homeless, living here, there, and everywhere, kind of in her car outside of this street right here. I have a report that I can't find on hand at the moment, but I do have where Carson, who lives here, right here, who is the ex-husband of Dorothy, calling a report for a missing person because he hadn't seen Dorothy in a while because she was out and about. And he was worried about her because she is deaf. She can't hear. And instead of sign language, she writes down what she needs to translate you to. So she doesn't do the ASL. She writes on paper, like pen and paper. Okay? And she was staying with, you guessed it, the Wondras, off and on, and had access to. I hope everyone is listening. Please listen. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not putting blame on Dorothy. I'm saying that she had access to that home. Yikes. Yikes. Who else had access to that home? They let pretty much every Tom, Dick, and Harry stay there. We had the Tanner Butler dog bone looking ass incident in April of 2022. And by the way, the man that was on Clutch My Cash App, aka Clutch My Balls, Justin, had Mr. What was his name? Andrew Dunsith, was it? On panel. One of Stacey Wondra's Montana friends, who lives in Idaho, works at like a car dealership or something. I already knew about him long ago. Mr. Dunsith, Seath, however you say it. I just love how people like them get on panel with people like Justin and talk a bunch of shit as if that's going to help their cause for guilt. I mean, it's drama. It's nasty. It's disgusting. Putting people and exploiting them for your own monetary gains. Shame on y'all. God, the lengths y'all will go. It's disgusting, and you are pathetic for that. Period. Makes me mad. So somebody tell me how this makes sense. And how, if these people are truly the ones in your mind, how is a jury who is supposed to be impartial going to convict on that? You know, Dolly Vision's girlfriend, PJ, wants to, can we just plant drugs on him to get him all indicted? Like, corruption doesn't work. It's not supposed to work that way. We're not supposed to do those kind of things to get a conviction and to get people locked up just so that we could force even more violations on them to potentially false confess again or take a plea. It's not going to happen. These people are not going to do it. They're not going to do it. They're not. So give it up, right? And let the judicial system work itself out, because we are beyond that. And they haven't even been arraigned yet, people. They have not even read their own probable cause affidavit. I have, and many others have. And the reason why I got ahead of it wasn't because of any grifting, purple fuck off. It was because it needed to be put out there for the families to read. They didn't even have access to it, and they have a right to support their family members who are going to get charged. This isn't Michael's probable cause affidavit, even though it's part of his justice. This is Sarah and Stacey's, not anyone else's. The audacity of these people out here, just pathetic. I cannot understand. Okay, rant over. This case means a lot to me if you haven't noticed. So, you know, we have this tracking dog on the 2nd and 3rd, right? Tracking scent that could possibly, allegedly be contaminated. We shall see when trial happens how that works itself out. Maybe there's more. I could be completely wrong, and I'm okay with that. It's okay to be wrong. We're speculating here. So let's look at another video that I have that might explain even further about what we might conclude from this tracking scent dog. Well, let's just learn a little bit more. And I downloaded this video just yesterday. Where did it go? Oh, it's in my folder. Sorry. 1 second. I have 8 folders that I have to go to sometimes. Sorry, y'all. There's a lot of information that I've collected over the years. Okay, here we go. There it is.
Never seen them.
Oh, wait, that's not it. Is this one it? Nope. Maybe I didn't. That's okay. We'll just go the old-fashioned way and look it up. One second, folks. Sorry. It was a... Oh, here we go.
Very close, a shadow graph. Shadow graph is not as sensitive, okay, but it's easier to build. Look, we have a flashlight and a white wall, and we're already seeing a shadow graph there.
So why does the...
So this video right here is about showing you what our scent does and how dogs sniff. This is very interesting. Look look at how quick dogs sniff and what happens to scent particles when they do it.
Our best tool for picking up trace substances has been the same for centuries.
So it turns out nature has already provided us with the best chemical detector, and that is the dog's nose. So this is Bubbles. She's a 3D printed, anatomically correct model of a female Labrador Retriever. We tried to get one of the police canines to come in here and get in front of the mirror, but dogs get hungry and cranky very quickly, and we got about 4 seconds of good footage. And I'm like, okay, we can do better than this.
And dogs can sniff very faint scents and from far away, but they don't do it just by breathing in. What they do is breathe out and in rapidly, around 5 times a second.
What I want you to notice is this pulsating motion by the, we'll call it the doggy treat, right? This is our doggy treat. If you notice this pulsating motion.
And what allows them to detect scents from far away is the rapid and turbulent exhale.
When the dog exhales, there's a turbulent air jet that comes out of each nostril, just like when you...
So all of that smoke that you saw is reminiscent of scent particles. And there's thousands and thousands of scent particles pouring off of you within minutes. Just pouring all over the place. Your scent for a dog is like, I don't know, perfume getting sprayed onto your neck. It is right there. Especially if you're trained to track. So it's not hard until other factors kind of mess with that. But I just wanted people to understand and get a visualization when you're thinking about this case. Like, that's what the scent dogs are doing. They're sniffing and they're disturbing these scent particles after they've already had it in their nose. They're searching for it. They're looking and looking and looking. And when they see it, they get it again. And it's like sniffing that all over again, and then they track. It's so cool. It's so cool to learn about.
When I exhale, if you put your hand under here and just exhale out of your nose, those are 2 turbulent air jets coming out of the dog's nose. But when the dog is down on the ground, those air jets are vectored back towards its rear. The dog is pushing air back, and by doing that, it's pulling air from ahead of it. So imagine me, I'm blowing air this way, and when I do that, I actually reach out and pull air towards me. The dog reverses flow, inhales, right? Gets a new sample, analyzes it with an amazing chemical detector upstairs, right? Its olfactory region, and does it at 5 times a second. On average, a dog, when it's sniffing for something, 5 times a second, repetitive sine wave. So that's what makes the dog this incredible sampling system. It kind of didn't matter the breed of dog. So somehow their evolution allowed them to figure out, okay, 1/5 seconds is what I need before I take the next puff or the next inhale. If the dog had an infinite lung capacity and it just inhaled constantly, it has a very limited reach. But because of this in and out bellows effect, its reach goes up by roughly a factor of 18. We have a number of commercially available vapor detectors, okay? Some of these are really good for various explosives and drugs. Some are very good for chemical and biological hazards, but they all just inhale air. What we did is we designed and printed what are essentially nostrils that plug onto this thing and make it sniff like a dog. And it's in forensic science. It's that every contact
particles
leaves a trace. And what that means is
this guy set up a trace detection machine that shows how your scent literally looks that we can't see with the naked eye.
We're shedding skin cells at a pretty creepy rate. I forget what the number is, but it's a lot, thousands an hour-ish. So we are shedding these skin cells constantly, and it's actually not necessarily a bad thing from a trace detection standpoint.
What do you mean?
Well, whenever we are talking about trace detection, whether it's drugs or explosives, it's all based on this fundamental principle. It's called Locard's exchange principle. It's in forensic science.
Maria,
it's
you're
that
dumb.
Every contact leaves a trace. And what that means is when you're done in this lab, there will be parts of you left behind in this lab, whether you like it or not, right? Because we're all shedding skin cells and taking stuff with us. So if I'm a bomb maker, if I'm involved in manufacturing, illegal fentanyl in my basement, I am ultimately contaminating myself with the bulk material. And this contamination comes in the form of very, very small particles. And the chemical detection systems that we have available now are so sensitive, they can detect a single particle of, say, an.
So basically what they're doing, what this man is doing is using what dogs, nature's best scent detection that we have, and he's making it a technology which I would be way more, it would be way more believable if this machine could detect accurately, because animals and humans, they're fallible. Honest to God. And it depends on human factors too. But if a machine can detect some kind of particle scent, I don't know. I think that would be probably more accurate in my mind as a juror. But it's in the works right now. But I just wanted you guys to show, or I wanted to show you guys how this works.
Explosive.
I think it's fascinating. It's just fascinating. Because I guess I really didn't know how the sniffing and the turbojets of the dogs that inhale, the air from the front and jetting it out when they sniff. And that's disturbing scent particles that make it easier for them to track. It's amazing. I didn't know it. I just did not know it. So, yeah, Maria is one of those. It's okay. Let Maria be. There's not an alley. There's no way to get in between that. Stop it, Maria. Stacey confessed, so what? 25% of false confessions that were exonerated look a lot like what Stacey Wondra did. A lot of them. They didn't find Michael. I could sit here and say anything I wanted. Anything I wanted that I believe. Is that a confession? You got to prove it, right? You got to prove it. And I don't see how scent detections, that could be completely explained in other ways. Because the dog can't get on the stand and say, I beg your pardon, I do believe that this is exactly where Michael went because I'm a professional. No. The canine handler would have to do that. And the defense would destroy this, in my opinion, because of how far from the day he went missing and how this detective is comparing it to a stroller being stuffed in a... First of all, is Michael in a stroller? Is somebody strolling him and that's why he's not on camera? Like, that's weird. If that's the case, whoa. And secondly, this tricycle, who I'm assuming had Michael, we're saying his scent was on it. Was there any DNA evidence that came back from that? We don't know. You would think it would be in this probable cause. And it's found at the end of Southwest and Three Rivers Way. And just because Brandon is seen walking, allegedly, down Three Rivers Way from 608? I had it written down. I know it's right here, but we'll just look at it. Let's see, Three Rivers Way guy. One moment. I think I passed it. My bad. Okay. And then we're going to wrap it up. Okay, video surveillance shows an adult male walking in the area of Three Rivers Way at 6:08. 6:08. So let's pull that bad boy up here. A male walking down Three Rivers Way at 6:08. Okay? That same male is captured walking in the area of the neighborhood splash pad at 6:18 hours. So he makes it down 3 Rivers Way, all the way down here to the splash pad in 10 minutes. Okay? Or 20 minutes. Excuse me, 20 minutes. No, let me restart this. Sorry. 3 Rivers Way, he's there at 6:08. And then he's at the splash pad at 6:18, which is 10 minutes. I was right. Then the last image of this male is captured at 18:28 hours as he walked through the wooded area to the west back towards the area in which the Wondras lived, the Treasy area, as Tyler said. Tyler meaning the father. That's what he calls it, which is this area. Now, I do have conflicting statements from the mother who was messaging a person she trusted at the time, which I'm sure everybody knows about by now, but it doesn't matter, that she swore when Tyler searched that he jumped out on Wood Duck. It is right here. So, I don't know. But he said it was here when he searched. And he called 911 when he was right here. But then the story is that he was at home by the time they got there 3 minutes later, so that's impossible. That's impossible. So I don't know. So anyway, they're saying that he made this trek, Brandon, made this trek after they got home from Nampa, and he's either coming this way or cutting through this little walkway right here to go to the splash pad, and he must have crossed paths with Michael walking, but Michael was seen here at 6:25 by Dorothy. What? How? Who? When? What? Okay, and he's not on video camera? That's a wrap, Maria. That's a wrap. That timeline is bonkers. Bananas. Unless somebody can Houdini and transport Michael to a different section. And by the way, this witness is the only person that said they saw him outside of this street. How did he get there? How did he get here? If that scent tracked him there. It can't make sense. There's no way. It cannot happen. So I'm very confused. And I think that the scent tracking, having an explanation in my brain, this is the only thing that I could think of after a million different things in my brain are going. Am I a professional or an investigator? No, we don't have to say that a million times. But it would be interesting to see how this is explained one day. Because I cannot see it for me, personally. And I would love everyone else's input. If it actually makes sense and it's not just, guilty. They're just guilty because confession. People confess. Chris Medina knows all about that. And they were actually innocent, right? He knows about that. The defensive and chat response are non-answers, not from Eve or regular chatters, if that makes sense. I'm just genuinely asking, I'm seeing some people don't like that. Oh, no, you can ask. Look, it's very ask away here. But when you jump to, we're not going to refute with facts or we're not going to refute with plausible things, and you're just like, guilty. That's stupid. That's all I'm saying. But thank you for being here. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying CCTV does not record the entire area. It's meant for the intersections on the roads. They have the suspects at the edge of the street, that means they have the road. They have the road covered for Southwest 8th, or at least part of it. So why isn't Michael on camera? He must have been allegedly picked up by a vehicle or Houdini transferred over to Hidden Meadows. So who did that? And how can Brandon be considered a suspect just because he was walking down Three Rivers, allegedly? And I don't know if that's him. No one that knows Brandon, or no one that is very close to Brandon, like not just family who would be biased in some people's minds, but friends, people that know him, they're like, that's not him. But there are some that say, that's absolutely him. So that's reasonable doubt, though. And why isn't there pings? Are there pings of Brandon walking down Three Rivers Way and into the splash pad? And I'm sorry, wasn't those persons not a suspect? They were just a person to talk to? They just want to talk to him? So, were they suspect the whole time and the police were lying to the public? They just wanted to know what he knew? Okay. So just because Brandon was captured by pings coming into the neighborhood from Nampa, and then a dude's walking down Three Rivers Way after he gets back, I would like to know, do the pings match up with Brandon walking? That would be a big deal. No, he was not in a duffel bag, and I can tell you why. Because the duffel bag is the size of a, I'm going to say allegedly, to be fair, because I'm not going to prove it to you, and I can't prove it, so I'm going to say allegedly this duffel bag was literally the size of a notebook. Michael would not fit in that. It was a tool bag. He was using it as a tool bag for his car repair. Okay? But if you can prove, that Michael was in the duffel bag and it's in this probable cause, that he was in fact in there and that they have it and they tested it, you go right ahead and tell me I'm wrong. I will be more than happy to take that lashing. Okay, so, cameras don't cover every square inch. That's fine, but you know what that's called, Maria? Reasonable doubt. Because there are cameras that do cover every square inch of where he could have been or where his scent could have been. We don't know all the facts. So this guilty by public hanging is ridiculous. We want things questions because nothing's adding up, right? And it's not, here's the thing. Incompetency in law enforcement does happen, but sometimes it's not even about being incompetent. Sometimes it's about not having resources. Sometimes it's about being biased, having connections that they're not supposed to have with people involved in the case, whether they be growing up with said suspects or persons of interest at some time. There are a multitude of reasons why sometimes murder charges and the probable cause get thrown out very quickly, because it could be easily proven that there was a prejudicial bias or a violation of civil rights, due process, showing anybody an indictment or charging papers or a complaint before somebody is charged is a huge appealable thing in Idaho. Due process rights violations and disbarment worthy in some cases. And I do want to mention, I recently put out a video of how Payette County has not been doing their best lately. They have not been doing their best. So I will let you guys go check that out. It's about, it's titled, What is Happening in Payette County? Did Prosecutor Hide Misconduct? And this is a prosecutor that will be over Michael Vaughan's case potentially, more than likely, unless there's a special prosecutor, which would be weird. We gotta question a lot of things. This is just the beginning of it. If you think that I'm done, oh no, ma'am, no sir. This is just the beginning, and I should be able to do that. Why wouldn't you want alternative opinions? Why do you want to hang these people without actual non-circumstantial forensic proof? And that's where the courts are gonna step in. But until then, I'm gonna keep talking about this because none of this makes sense. None of it. So that's the section that I wanted to cover today. I don't know when or how or where these, the two, at least Sarah and Stacey, are going to be arraigned. Who knows? They have at least, 15 plus 22. They have less than 20 days, we'll say, or roughly there, for them to come and pick up Stacey, specifically Stacey. And then if not, he's a free bird. They're going to have to come get him, but I'm pretty sure they will. I don't think that they would let him just walk out of the jail at this point. That would be dumb. So that's all I have, guys. That's where we're at on part 3 today. Thank you for being here. I do apologize sometimes when I get heated. I don't mean to be, and I know that that's kind of what the haters out there want. And it's really not about them. It's about what they're doing to this case on the behest of family. And it's so disheartening. It's so disheartening. Because, I thought that Michael was sitting on the couch playing his Nintendo Switch. And now we have the older sister who came out with her side of the story, which we will cover that. Saying she was asked to watch the little girl, the little sister, while whatever happens, happens. Pizza was placed at 6:40. 6:40, which is, right about the time Michael's allegedly gone, but not seen ever on camera. And it's disheartening that can't get scrutinized. But Stacey saying that everyone did something under the hopes that he would get some kind of immunity deal that they actually said to him, allegedly. Well, if you're going to get immunity, wouldn't you say anything? If you were if you really believed police, that they can't lie to you? Come on, guys. Come on. I think that's the deal that he was allegedly offered. Why not just say all of these stupid things? Horrific things that are shameful. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. As I say, drink your water. Use your brain. Use your God-given brain. We are Team Michael Vaughan. Look out for another live soon, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye now. Much love.
Thank you for being with me while doing live streams. It means a lot to me. You are appreciated. See you on next live. Take care. and spend your energy wisely. See you on next life. Take care and spend your energy wisely.
Good to see you, Katie. Katie Bowden. Good to see you, love. Take care.